So the first question is, what's your overall video strategy for social media and why? This is a broad question, but I try to make sure everyone's strategy is unique to their own business. Obviously, in the real estate space, you're all trying to sell homes, you're all trying to help people buy homes, but your actual strategy behind that is going to be different. Some people really lean into their personal brand and those relationships. Some people are really good storytellers and can just talk to a camera and that can pull a crowd. Others are very visual, so they can visually tell a story. One of the other panelists I'm going to be doing this KW education event with is great at this. Like, I don't think I've ever heard her actual voice, but I kind of have an idea of the lifestyle she's trying to help people understand they could have. And then the follow-up question to this is, how do you decide what type of content to create? Market updates, property tours, educational content, etc. So the answer to everything is people are all going to have their own formula, but there's an overarching strategy that applies to everyone, which is don't be one dimensional and make sure that you're showing all of the sides of your business that will actually allow you to get clients based off what you already know works. So if you know there are certain social events in your life where you've met people to sell real estate with, okay, you should probably show that. If you have a really nice listing that would not only elevate your brand and maybe it's more expensive and it would associate you with some luxury listings, but you should also do that because people love looking at homes they're going to buy. Yes, they're going to go look at Zillow, but if they're really considering it, like, they are going to watch the videos. They're not only going to be looking for things they like, they're going to be looking for things they don't like because this is a big decision for them. So what I always advise is when a property comes up, that's your priority. Make content about that, share the opportunity with people. But when you're not in the house, make content that's not as salesy. Just tell people, hey, here's what I'm seeing if you're trying to buy a home in this area. If you ever have hard situations with actual transactions or things clients threw at you, share how you fix that. Like, it's going to feel boring and like you're just talking about yourself too much. But when people are hiring a realtor, it's not to open a lockbox, it's to fix hard problems that come up. That's what they want to know you're capable of. The next question is, what role does storytelling play in your videos and how do you use it to engage viewers? So there's actually a ton of formulas that I've studied, and it's very fun to work within formulas because I think a lot of times we all think we're great storytellers, but we're not. One thing we've learned editing all of these videos is people don't tell stories the way they happened. They tell stories the way they remember them. So people will not always tell you things in an order that makes sense. And when we're editing it, we're actually like kind of Frankensteining that video together, pulling something from the end to the beginning and vice versa. I think storytelling is important when it's done well. And what needs to clearly happen in the story is there needs to be some sort of mini hero's journey that you go on in the video. This could be the hero's journey of the client struggling and then going to try something, not working, maybe an offer gets rescinded or they don't sell it for the price they want. And then you are the guide that takes them back up to where they get the outcome they want. And I think that's what's important in storytelling is you're really just trying to get people in a way where they relate to the character you're talking about. So that's why it's helpful to use client transactions or to even make them up if it was someone that you don't want to like share their name publicly. Just say the pain point they were going through, talk about what effect that had on them, because that is the quickest way for someone to actually feel what you did to help this other person. All right, so the next one is, how do you measure the success of your video content and which metrics do you track? So when we're talking about organic content, meaning like you're not putting any paid ads behind it, you're not doing anything to blast it to an email list, you're just posting it out there. The three things you're going to want to follow is your reach, your engagement, and then how well your DMs convert before posting content and after posting content. So when I say reach, the reason why I always say that is that's how many accounts your content is going to. Right now, short form video is easily the best way to get the highest amount of reach because all of these apps serve it on a discovery basis, meaning people might see it just because of the topic, not necessarily because you made it. YouTube long form is getting there, but it's still nowhere near as strong as YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Reels. Those are always going to have the most discoverability. And that's going to be tracked via how many accounts you're reaching on a monthly basis. A lot of times when we meet people, they might be under 1,000, they might be under 5,000. Our goal is to get them to 10,000 or more views per month across all platforms. Then after a few months, get them to 10K per month on every platform. And then we want to ride that 5-figure reach as long as possible, assuming that they're in a market that is local as a business. There are some businesses we've worked with that run a national model where you can actually make bigger audiences work for your business. But with most real estate service businesses, you have a local audience. And when you start expanding above that 50K reach, it's usually when you have products that go beyond your market. And then the most important thing that we want to track is the engagement. So this is what is the actual feedback you're getting, not only in the comment section, but in real life. How are people perceiving these videos? How are they engaging with you? what is the actual reactions. And for each person, this is different. So for some investors, we're tracking how much money they can raise privately. For some investors, it's how many wholesale deals are people sending them through their DMs or just saying, hey, I saw your videos and know you buy. For realtors, this would probably be how many people have said they see your social media content or they use that as part of their vetting process to hire you or not. And then finally, it's going to be the actual response via outreach. So I know a lot of business owners still don't DM people. And to me, that's crazy. If you want to reach people, you've already built an audience where they are sitting there saying, we watch your content. Go talk to them. So you need to make sure that when you're doing a fixed amount of outreach, you want to track how many people respond before you post content and how many people respond afterwards. Because one of the biggest benefits to creating organic content is that when you cold DM someone, it's way less cold because all they have to do is watch 10 videos and they get who you are. As long as your bio's set up right, you're not a scammy person posting weird videos or weird posts all the time, you're going to be fine. And then if you're going to do paid ads, obviously you can track things like cost to reach 1,000 people. If your whole goal is branding, if you're going to decide that you want to start generating leads, you're going to obviously have a cost per lead, which is how much money do I have to spend for someone to fill out this form. You can do other things like cost per call. So if you have a call campaign, how much money do you have to spend to get one potential lead to call you? There's a lot of things you can track, but it really all depends on the business person and if they're going to brand themselves or if they're trying to lead generate. I love this question. It's what are your best practices for engaging with your audience through both video, during and after posting? So during posting, always throw it in your story. If you're feeling like you want to throw a poll on there, those will get your most loyal followers to see it. I'm a huge advocate of outbound. I think that people should send their own videos as conversation starters. It's way less invasive than just a raw message where someone either has to leave you on read or just not respond because they're a little anxious and don't know what to say. I always think you should post content and see the feedback, always respond. But then once it's been out there, resend it to people because billboards like Misney have been running the same ad for 30 years and no one questions it. But we feel like we can't even say the same thing in 2 videos, and that's just not the truth. The final one is what's one piece of advice you'd give to agents who are just starting out with video on social media? My tip is that just start. Like you can really overwork yourself into a thought storm of editing and captions and what are people going to think and do I gulp weird on camera? Like get over it. You just need to start making your videos. They will suck. Your first, truthfully, like 50 to 100 should suck. And you are just practicing the muscle of doing it. And what you realize is it is a muscle. It's not like something that you can just turn on 1 month and then you don't do it for 2 months and, oh, I still talk to the camera the same way. You're not. You're a different person and that will get rusty. So what you need to do is just get a consistent practice where maybe it's once a week, once a month, just have something where you know these are my creation days. This is where I make content, because then you can actually have a way to track, are you getting better at it? Is it getting easier? Do you tell stories better? So the only advice I'm going to give you is just start.